and welcome to Hardworking Man. We are in Ohio. Behind me, there's a dealer. We are checking some things out that this dealer has to offer. So what brought us down to Ohio? Well, there is an exciting new brand of Zero Turn Lawnmowers that we wanted to check out. Here we are at Michael Lawn and Ag in Sydney, Ohio. So a little bit more about the Michael Lawn and Ag dealership. He's been a dealer for about 4 years now. He worked in the farm and ag industry, and he started his own dealership so that he could have more quality control over the customer experience. So let's go inside with Heath and see exactly what Michael Lawn and Ag has to offer.
We're gonna go inside and we're gonna see what this dealership has to offer. Now, this is an open and active dealership, so there's gonna be some background noise. There's gonna be people coming and going, people talking, and the audio quality's not that great in there, so bear with us. When we get done just showing you some of these mowers, we're gonna take one of them outside and we're gonna do an in-depth look into this brand new mower lineup. We're gonna show you how it's built, some of the cool features, and then Rachel and I are gonna drive it and see what we think. So here inside, they've got the Mahindra tractors. They've got some nice die-cast toys. We were just in here looking around and some guys came in looking at the toys. You know, that's a neat thing to have in here. A lot of people like to collect that stuff. Like we mentioned, Spartan mowers. Yakta mowers, the reason we're here to check those out, and the Wright mowers. So before we get to the Yakta mowers, which is why we drove down here, I wanted to show this Wright. You know, when we did the video showing a few different mowers that we drove, people are like, oh, you didn't try a Hustler, you didn't try a Wright, you didn't try a Ferris. We tried a bunch of different mowers and looked at ones. We didn't put them all on the channel, but I will say the Wright was impressive. And one thing that if you haven't ever sat on one or tried, is the deck. Like the way to raise and lower this deck is probably the easiest that I've used. Like it's super simple, no hands, just your foot. It's got spring assist, it's super nice. And this one has the suspension platform, the suspension seat. This thing rides nice as well. In a future episode of Hardworking Man, we're gonna take an in-depth look into this Wright ZXT. It's got some really unique features that we're gonna highlight and share with you. You're not gonna wanna miss that. The reason we came to Ohio, the Yakta mowers. Let's take a look at these things. Just a little bit of information on it. It's a brand new Zero Turn Lawnmower company, but the company that builds them isn't new. It's Arrowquip. They've built agricultural items for years, and I researched them. They have a very high customer satisfaction rate, and they build a high quality product. I've communicated with the company, and I really like what they have to offer. One of the main things being the warranties. So one thing that really stood out to me about the Yakta brand is why they wanted to build Zero Turn Lawnmowers. It was because they felt that in this industry, there could be better product support, which from my Husqvarna video, you know that that's true. So what they want to pride themselves on and build themselves on is not only building a great Zero Turn lawnmower, but offering better customer service than anyone else in the industry. They offer a true 5-year bumper to bumper 2,000-hour warranty. It doesn't matter if you're a homeowner, if you're commercial, it doesn't matter what you use it for. It's all the same. Everything is covered except for the battery, the tires, and the lawnmower blades. They've extended their Yakta warranty to the Kawasaki engines, to the Hydro Gear Hydros. It's not a separate warranty. It's not a different term. It's Yakta's warranty. 5 years, 2,000 hours. It doesn't matter what you use it for. That's pretty impressive. Another thing they pride themselves on is the customer support. Their goal is to, if you need a part, they want it to your door or to your dealer's door in 24 hours. If you need a warranty repair, they're gonna pay top shop rates to the shop so that your mower takes priority over maybe a brand who doesn't pay the top shop rate. They're doing what they can to set themselves apart in this market. They're new, you've probably never heard of them, but I promise you, you will. Now, I'm gonna give you some ballpark pricing figures. It can change a little bit depending on deck, depending on engine. But for instance, this is the Yakta YXR 410. With the Kawasaki engine, this machine comes in at $8,050. That's not too bad considering how heavily built it is, and like I mentioned, that warranty. And this, the Yakta 610 YXR. A little bit bigger engine, bigger hydros. This one comes in at $9,000. Now we're getting into some of their higher end flagship models. This is the YXR 710. As you can see, it's got a full digital touchscreen LCD. It gives you all of your engine information. It doesn't just say if there's something wrong, it tells you what's wrong. It tells you if you can keep mowing or if you have to shut it down immediately, what needs to be done to address the problem. And a key feature on this that I want to touch on, if this LCD screen fails, you can still mow and still run with this. Yakta will get you a new one, most likely within 24 hours, but you don't have to shut down your operation to keep mowing just if you have an LCD screen failure. They've thought about a lot of stuff, and I feel like they're gonna keep continuing to improve. So you're definitely gonna wanna check out the Yakta brand. If you've never heard of them, which you probably haven't, I think you're going to, because they're pretty impressive. So here it is, one of their high-end models, the YXR 710. We're gonna show you how they build these things. There's nothing else that I've seen that's built quite like this. This one comes equipped with the Kawasaki FX781V Evo. It's a 30.5 horsepower fuel injected engine, and the transmissions are the Hydro Gear ZT 4400s. That's a commercial heavy duty transmission. This thing has plenty of power to run those transmissions, to run that deck, and this thing is supposed to be pretty fast. We're gonna find out here in a second. A pretty cool thing I noticed about these Yakta mowers is the fact that it not only has a 2-inch receiver on the back, but it has one on the front as well. There's a lot of different and new implements, tools that are coming out for these zero turns, and they thought ahead and they're like, you know what? Let's put a receiver on both ends so you can use whatever you want. Whether it's towing a trailer, this thing tows up to 600 pounds, or you can put the dump beds on the front, you know, that people make with the casters. They got both ends taken care of here. That's pretty neat. They've also got this removable panel. They thought about servicing in the field when they put this mower together. You can take this panel off for easy access. Full engine oil change with no tools required. So you don't have to have wrenches, you don't have to have everything. They have it set up so you can do it with nothing but a drain pan, a filter, and some new oil. Like I said, there's a 2-inch receiver on the front too. It's under this plate. You take these 2 bolts off and it's right there. So you can keep it looking sharp like this if you don't need it, or if you need access to that receiver for something, you can just pop this cover off. This thing is built like a tank. For instance, these forks are built with 1/2-inch steel. I haven't seen anything built like it. They want this thing to last. The frame is an I-beam frame. It's 3/16-inch steel on the top and bottom and 3/8 for the center of the I-beam. You're not gonna wreck this thing. You're not gonna damage it. And if you do, well, you're gonna wreck anything because this thing is built. Their decks are made out of 7-gauge steel. They've got a nice like bullnose front end so that if you hit something, it's gonna help not damage it because it's gonna come over it. Plus it's heavy duty. Once again, they think about serviceability. In the field, you can take this thing apart if you have to. You can step on this cover. It's metal, it's not light. You pop these 2 clamps, remove that. If you need to take the belt off for some reason, you don't need a tool. You just press that and it takes the tension off. Really easy. They're thinking about what can make your job easier. Less downtime, don't need a mechanic for everything. You can fix some of this stuff yourself if you have to. Now when you need to get to the top of your deck for work, which we just showed you how easy it can be to work on the belts, you just flip this up. There's nothing to get out of the way or anything, and you've got access to your belts, your pulleys. These are the greaseless spindles. They're heavy duty. They're a 5-year, 2,000-hour warranty, so you don't have to worry about them. Because if something does happen, they're gonna take care of you. And the fact that they get the parts to your door in 24 hours is huge. Obviously, there will be some circumstances or instances where they can't, but that's their goal. They allow you to do your warranty work yourself if you so choose. You don't have to, but you can for some stuff. So that's less downtime, less losing money, less needing a backup mower or not being able to get jobs done. That's huge, especially if you live in a remote location where maybe it's hard to get stuff sometimes or hard to get service. You can fix this stuff yourself, and they offer full technical support, so they'll help talk you through it. They thought about a lot before they entered the zero-turn mower market. All right, so Yakta, that's a strange name, or is it? How they came up with the name Yakta is they took 2 words. The company is based out of Australia, so it's 2 Australian words. I'm not gonna try to say them, but what they mean is thank you and hard work. Yakta means thank you for your hard work. They know that people that run these machines are hard workers. We're out there cutting lawns, doing work, and they want to thank you for the hard work that we do. They didn't want to name it after themselves. They didn't want to name it after something that sounded cool. They wanted to name it after the people who are going to use it, the hard workers. And they wanted to say thank you. And they want to provide you with a machine that you're going to appreciate running. I thought that was pretty neat. All right, so now onto the seat, into the controls. This thing's got a 3-inch suspension travel seat, so it's going to give a pretty comfortable ride. And this seat is soft. And look at those armrests. They're fully adjustable with screws in here, so you can put them exactly the angle you want them to be at. That's cool. Some are, you know, just gross adjustments or no adjustments. These you can put exactly where you want. You can adjust these like you can a lot. You can do the height, you can do the angle, and so you can set this and the armrest exactly how you want it set up for the ultimate mowing experience. I know that that feature has Rachel's attention. She does not like how a lot of the parking brakes are on these zero turns. It's either with the foot, or you got to put the handles out and grab the handle, or if you don't do the handle, it stalls because of safety. You want to set the parking brake on a Yakta? I just did it. That makes sense, because if you put the handles out, you don't want to move. So why add a step? They took that step out, and I think that's pretty neat, and Rachel loves it. This mower has dual fuel tanks, 16 gallons. You don't have to switch tanks, they're interconnected, but with 16 gallons of fuel, you can mow all day. You also have this that you can flip up. It's got a can holder. Why would you put a can holder underneath this? Well, because when you're mowing, if you have a can sitting there, it gets filled with grass, it gets filled with dust, it gets filled with everything. With this, your can can be in there, you shut it down, it keeps your drink clean. You can put your cell phone or some other stuff in here. It's got a USB port for charging. It's got some nice little creature comforts, which is pretty cool. Now, to flip the seat up, there's a lever here. You just pull up on it. This seat is not light. Like, this thing, you can tell it's well built. When you get under the seat, you've got split reservoirs. Why is that important? Because if something happens to one of your pumps or hydros and you have a shared reservoir, it can take them both out. This keeps it isolated to each side. It's got this, which is sort of neat. You simply take that out and you just disabled the electronics of this machine. So if you have kids that maybe would be curious and try to start it up, if you want to stop it, take that out. If you don't worry about it, you can just leave it in all the time. But that's a little neat anti-theft, theft deterrent, or kid deterrent feature that they added in. So down here, it's fairly accessible, fairly open. Not super cramped, not completely wide open, but you can see you can get in here. It's got a soft engaged PTO, so it's going to bring that PTO in without just slamming it in. It's got, I guess, your fuse block here, some different stuff. Easy access to the battery. You got your hydros here, the engine, like I said, toolless oil change. So as you can see, it's pretty accessible, especially the stuff that you're gonna have to deal with a little bit, like maybe the battery, when you have to change a battery every couple years. One of the 3 things that's not warranted on this thing. And if you have to add some hydro fluid or change your fluid, like, all this stuff is right here underneath the seat with the easy lever to lift it back up. I already mentioned how heavy duty these yokes are. You don't have to grease these bearings, it's all sealed. The flat free tires on the front, and on the back, you got a nice, pretty aggressive, wide, big tire. It's a 12 by 24, so it's gonna give you some nice traction, keep you out of the mud a little bit from sinking in, and it looks like it's gonna do a pretty good job. We can't really test it out here, but I'm sure there will be some videos on YouTube showing how does this thing handle hills, mud, etc. in the future, because these things are going to become pretty popular. I can tell you just by looking at it and just by learning what I have so far about the company Yakta. Like I said, that deck, it's 7-gauge steel. It's heavy duty, it's not light, but you got good leverage. That's not hard to push. Some of these mowers, you really got to get into it to lift it, and to lower it, you just press it and just flip this with the tips of your finger and lower it. If you want to raise it up, it's not 2 steps. You don't have to push and flip a lever. You just push it and it auto locks. So that's neat. You can see right here if it's locked up or down. Sometimes people don't pay attention to that and they're mowing with the deck up. Ask me how I know. And then another thing, to set your height with the deck up, You just take this pin out and you can go from 5.5 inches all the way down to 1 inch. You put the pin where you want it and you're mowing. Like I showed inside a little bit, this thing has a full digital touch screen. It's fuel injected. This is fly-by-wire. That's your throttle. Here's your PTO. Here's your key. To start it, you just keep it on low, turn the key on for a couple seconds. You see the screen fire up, Yakta. Then you're going to turn the key. So as you can see, your fuel gauge, it's full. It's got your RPM here. The engine has 0.6 hours on it and 0 PTO hours on it. To get into your menu, you press that. If you need to do diagnostics, it's right there. General settings, vehicle health. This tells you everything. Then you can go back here. If you have a problem, you're going to get a warning sign. And like I said, it's going to tell you if you need to shut down immediately or if you can keep mowing and finish your job. It's going to tell you what's wrong and what you need to do to fix it. Full technical support from Yakta. That's pretty cool.
Now the really important matter is, how does Rachel like it? I'm going to take it for a test run. You're going to see me run it for the very first time.
Oh, she likes how that parking brake comes off. So how was it? There's no suspension other than the seat. You were bouncing a little bit, but is it jarring? Is it?
No, it wasn't jarring. It felt nice and smooth. This is a very comfortable seat, in my opinion. And I can use this easy. I like that.
Yeah, Rachel was not a fan of some of the really heavy ones, but you can see she's got her sandals on and it's the flip of a toe. There's a lot of leverage in there. And just like that, it's locked back up. So that's cool. I'm gonna take this thing for a spin. We gotta get out of here, but not without me getting to drive the Yakta. So let's switch spots. One thing that can be different from mower to mower is how loud it is with the mower blades engaged. On this thing, to engage the blades, you bring it up to half throttle, engage it with that soft PTO, and then bring it up to full. So let's go to half here. Blades on. I mean, that's not crazy. It's not quiet, but it's not insanely loud. Now, we can't cut this grass here, so we're not going to get to see the cut on this mower, but like I said, you're going to start seeing these on channels, I'm pretty sure. And who knows, maybe you're going to see one on our channel. Let me see how this thing drives. This thing does move, I will give it that. It's not bad for, I mean, this seat is comfy. You hit the bumps and you move, but you don't jar, you don't slam. You just bounce. I think this is definitely one we're gonna consider because of the customer support, the warranty, which is second to none. I have never seen a warranty like this on a zero turn mower. They don't care if you're commercial or a homeowner. Most people limit you down or change the rules or exclude certain items, and Yakta doesn't. They take care of it all. The engine, the hydros, like I said, if there's an issue, you don't deal with Kawasaki, you deal with Yakta. That's pretty neat.
Well, thank you all for tuning in and watching Hardworking Man. We appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know, have you heard of Yakta before? Is this brand new to just us? Are we just the newbies to this whole world of zero turn lawnmowers? We love to hear feedback from you, so drop us a comment. If you're not subscribed to Hardworking Man, please subscribe. It really helps our channel, and hit that bell icon so you're not gonna miss out on any new videos that we put out. So what do y'all think? Is it worth it to try a new brand of Zero Turn with a tried and true parent company backing it? Or should we stick with the good old brands that everyone who's been running these landscape companies that they've been using and know to be great? Drop us a comment, let us know your thoughts. Have a great day, everyone. Hey, hi.
Hello. Hello.